Hey everyone, welcome back to Kids on the Living Edge. This week, we're going to continue our series on God's promise and paradise. That's right, you know paradise is those beautiful places in our minds like beaches where we have palm trees and sunshine. And even one of our weeks, I was at the beach and I told you how beautiful paradise could be, just like Adam and Eve lived in paradise. And God's promise kept them even when they disobeyed Him. Last week we talked about Noah's Ark and Noah's family and how God promised to keep them safe during a terrible flood. Well, this week I want to talk to you about paradise just a little bit more and show you how even sometimes when you think everything is great in paradise, you still need God's promises to keep you alive, to keep you going, to keep you safe. Now, quick exercise with me. Think about paradise. Think about an island out in the middle of the ocean. Now think about you're stranded there. That's right. You have no boat, you have no plane, you have no way out. What kind of things would you want to have with you while you're on this island? You know, I thought about this question and I brought some of my favorite stuff. Like I might bring my favorite floaty, or I might bring some rope, so I can tie things together, make myself a shelter. I might need to create fire so I can cook my food. Yeah, the food that I catch with my fishing pole. I might need all these things. Sometimes the things I need might be electronic. Like I might need this flashlight, to see at night. Or I might need my Chick-fil-A card. That's right, because I get hungry on a stranded island. But sometimes, these things that we need, that we say we need some things now, but we might need some things that we can wait for later. So that reminds me of my favorite candy. Here it is, Now and Later. Have you guys heard of that candy? Yeah, Now and Later is like a piece of candy you can have now and some more that you can have later. Why don't you get a sheet of paper out and do this exercise with me? Eat a piece of candy if you have permission from your parents, and think of things that you would want to have right now, right? Some of you might be thinking, well, I'd like a snack right now, or I'd like to watch my favorite TV show right now. So while you're eating that first candy, think of things that you want now. Then, if you have your parents' permission, you grab another piece of candy and another piece of paper or on the other side of this paper, and think about things you might want later. So for example, it's summertime right now. I can't get my Christmas presents, but maybe I want them for later. When I think about God's promises, I have things that I want right now. And maybe God says, well, there are some things that I want for you right now. Like your worship life, your prayer life, reading God's word. I have protection for you now. I have things that I want to give you right now. And maybe there's some things that God says, I want to give those to you later. And I want you to think about it, especially with today's story. Today's story comes from Genesis chapter 12 and the life of a man called Abram. And God told him he had a promised land for him, but he had to leave where he was to go where God wanted him to go. And there were some things that Abram had to do right now. He had to obey God. He had to go where God was sending him. That's right. He had to obey now so God could deliver his promise later. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about God's promise to Abram later, but first, let's spend some time watching Carl and tell me while you're watching the video if you see any reference to my favorite place, Chick-fil-A. Just look for that in Carl's video and listen for today's big idea, and I'll see you on the other side.
Hi there, you little chicken nuggets. Me, Carl, and welcome to Grow TV.
And I'm Cassie.
Welcome to Grow TV. Introducing your host, Carl, and your co-host, Cassie. Where we learn, where we grow, and we talk about Jesus. Once again, welcome to Grow TV.
Hey everyone, we're so glad to see you today. Aren't we, Carl?
Yep, couldn't be happier.
All right. So today we have a very special story, don't we, Carl?
We sure do. Come on, plant. Show me something. Grow!
Hey, Carl.
What's up?
Maybe it's just me, but I don't feel like you're very focused today.
What do you mean?
Well, I feel like you're not really paying attention and you're just like really fixated on that plant.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear what I just said?
Of course.
What did I say then?
You said elephants are kind of cool, but they kind of stink too. But whatever. Elephants can be themselves if they want to.
What? No. What's going on, Carl?
Well, it's my Mamo's birthday this Saturday. And for her birthday, I wanted to get her a plant. The biggest plant she's ever had. So when I went to the store, this is the only one that they had. But they did tell me that it will eventually grow up and become really beautiful. It's just taking forever.
Ah, that makes sense now. I mean, I believe them when they say it's going to be big and beautiful, but I think it needs one thing.
I know. Sun and water. I've given that, but still nothing.
No, I had another idea that might help.
You do? Tell me! Cassie, please tell me! I need to know!
Well, first I want to tell you our story of the day.
I can't wait, Cassie! The birthday is next week! What does it need? Does it need motivation? I want you to grow right now! Plant! Grow big for me! You can do it! I believe in you! Whoa! Does it need soothing music? Come on, plant. I believe in you. Let the smooth jazz overcome you and grow now. Does it need protein? Come on, plant. I think these Oreo cookies have a lot of protein in them. You can do it. Grow. Does it need an inspirational movie? Look it. Barbies don't have wings. I can't think of anything.
Well, maybe the story of Joseph will help.
Who's Joseph? Did you name a plant named Joseph?
No, Joseph from the Bible.
Oh. Still no idea.
All right, well, a long time ago, there was a father who had many sons, and one of the sons was Joseph, and Joseph was very special.
Did he have like really good hearing or something?
I don't think so.
Can he speak to animals?
Don't think so.
Could he talk to
How about I finish the story and we can ask the questions after?
Sounds good.
So one day when Joseph was a kid, he had a really strange dream that all of his brothers would bow down to him and he would be a ruler. And you can imagine his brothers didn't like that.
I bet. So what happened next?
Well, the brothers were so jealous of Joseph that they threw him into a pit.
Well, did they get him out of there? Why would anyone treat someone like that?
I wish I could say they helped him, but they didn't. In fact, they did something even worse. Joseph's brothers decided to pull him out of the pit and sell him to merchants passing by.
That is horrible.
It is horrible. People should never be sold. And his brothers did it for a measly 20 shekels of silver.
Everything is going wrong. How can this ever go right?
Well, Joseph was forced to work as a slave in Egypt for many years. He did okay and was finding a way to survive in a new culture that wasn't his own. But then bam, he was put in jail for something he didn't do. But you know what?
What?
Joseph eventually made his way into becoming the second most powerful leader in Egypt. Even his brothers would one day come to Egypt and find themselves bowing down to him.
Just like his dream.
Exactly. God promised him something, and it took years to actually come true.
Wow, that's really cool. I guess it's hard to wait that long.
True, but God's promises are worth it, and God knows what's best for us.
You're right. So the plant may take a while to grow. I guess that's okay. Some things take time. God's promises might take time.
Whoa!
Whoa, that's our big idea. Today's big idea is God's promises might take time.
On the count of 3, say it out loud, okay? 1,
2, 3. God's promises might take time. Woohoo! They sure might. But good job.
So are you okay with your plant growing slowly?
Yeah, my mama will love it, even if it takes a little longer to grow.
Good. Plus you can always buy her chocolate. She loves chocolate.
That's true, but she's also very lactose intolerant, so she might fart a lot. That's all, kids.
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Grow TV.
Hey guys, welcome back. Carl and Casey, they're hilarious, you know? Did you notice Carl's sweater this week? A little Chick-fil-A action there. Well, listen, back to our lesson. We talked about God's promise and how all his promises, some of them might be for now and some for later. And I started talking to you about Abram during the introduction and how God told Abraham that he would move him to another land to start a family. And he didn't have any kids. And God said, not only will I give you kids, your entire family is going to be more numbered than the sands on the beach. I brought something to show you what maybe God meant by that and what I mean to tell you how big that is. Here I have a jar full of beans. That's right, lentil beans. There's a lot in here. Anybody care to guess how many? Any numbers? Come on. No? Yeah, I heard somebody say like 1 million. No, it's not 1 million, but there are definitely like a couple hundred in here. And if you think about it, someone told you, you know, you're gonna have as many descendants as the beans in this jar. That would be a lot. But God told Abraham that his promise included a legacy of people, a family that would be more than the sand of all the beaches in all the world. Now, a couple weeks ago, I told you that Florida has 1,350 miles of beaches, and that's a lot of sand. Now, think of all the sand around all the world. Well, Abram's family is you and me. That's right, we're a family of faith. And faith means that we believe God at his word. So this week, I want you to remember the big idea that God's promises are for now and for later. And I want you to believe this, God has something great for you. That's right, no matter what things look like right now, no matter what you're going through. Some of you might be happy to get back to school. Some of you are having a hard time. Maybe you don't like online school. Maybe you don't like face-to-face school. But God's promises are greater than all of that. He's got a great future for you. And if you come back next week, we'll keep talking about God's promises. We'll keep talking about paradise, and we'll keep building up your faith. I love you, and I can't wait to see you next week on Kids on the Living Edge.